Hello everyone, back tuning into today's video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next week to 10 days. For today's video, this will take us to around the 21st of December. So we'll be able to extend up beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles over into around a couple of weeks. Gets us just beyond Christmas. Have a look at CFSV2 as well, so you've got that showing for the next 4 weeks. Obviously this is the first video that I've done for just under a week. The last video update was on Thursday last week. I was already becoming quite poorly doing that one, and after that I just had to pack them in because I was feeling too under the weather, if you pardon the pun, from the end of last week onwards. So I just want to say a big thank you to all of you for all of your lovely messages though, and all of your messages asking how I am and wishing me all the best for my health, and you know, all of the messages through Gaz Webits and through Facebook and through Twitter and the emails that I've received. It really does blow you away to know there are so many people that are out there sort of thinking about you and taking the time and the trouble to write to you and ask how you are and wish you all the best. And it does make you feel better actually to know that there are all of these people out there rooting for you. So a big thank you to all of you. You're very, very kind, very lovely people. So thank you so much everybody for all of those really lovely messages. I am quite a bit better. I'm still coughing, and I think I probably will be for quite a few weeks actually after this. So I'll probably have to stop and have a cough. But as far as sort of the temperature side of it is concerned, and the aches and the shivers and all of that nasty stuff, most of that has got a lot better over the past day or so. So I'm gradually getting there, but it's been a nasty bug, and it will take a little while to get back into the swing of things. It's going to take quite some time to get the energy levels back. So we're not going to be doing 3 or 4 videos a day for the time being, definitely not. But we are gradually going to start building up the videos again. Probably just a week to 10-day video update today. I may do Christmas updates. I'm very behind with Christmas updates tonight, but I'll see how I'm feeling later. Just wait for the uploads to appear when they appear, kind of thing. I'm probably not going to be all that much of a schedule to things for the next few days as we just begin to crank up the output again a little bit, but we'll get there and we'll get back to normal, of course, in the next few weeks. But just a big thank you to all of you for all of those lovely messages. We had a donation while I was ill as well. Somebody donated to us via PayPal, had a PayPal donation. That person wants to stay anonymous, but they know who they are. So just a big thank you to you for your donation. Thank you so much, Anonymous, for that. Right, let's get on with it then. As I say, I may have to stop and have a couple of coughs as we go along with this, but we'll see how we get on. We've got to set the scene, of course, because I haven't done a video since Thursday. So I'm going to start off with the Central England temperature. That's the first thing we're going to look at. Bring you up to date with that. So we're currently standing at 6.0, an anomaly of 1 degree above average. That's provisional to the 10th. To yesterday, 10th of December. So for the first 10 days of December, we're actually around a degree above average, which is very impressive because for the first 3 days or so, it's actually significantly colder than average. So it has been a very impressive boost to the temperature over the past 3 or 4 days. We're now above average. That's probably about as high as it's going to get for the time being. Next few days are going to be quite cold and unsettled. It may start to take off again later next week. But for now, that's probably about as high as it's going to get. These are the 500 millibar high anomaly flowcharts from the Penn State University for the next week to 10 days. This gets us to the 21st of December. We've got the ECM WF on the top, and the GFS, which we'll have a look in a moment, is on the bottom. Excuse me. 500 millibars is an area in the atmosphere. High pressure and low pressure are being moved around by the jet stream. Red extrapolates high pressure, blue to low pressure. So you can see that with the ECM, we've got this very deep trough of low pressure in the middle of the Atlantic. We have got a big ridge of above average heights sitting to our east as well. That's not having all that much influence. We're mainly under the low pressure, so having lots of rain, bands of rain being thrown up across the country. What this ridge could do to our east is slow down the progress of the fronts clearing the country as they come up against this area of high pressure. So what that can do, it can slow down the bands of rain, and they can become a little bit stuck in this kind of pattern. So that could be a very wet pattern as we're running up towards Christmas, but it would be mild. Winds are coming in from the south, but it could be very wet. The GFS has more influence from the ridge of high pressure. It's based on the midnight run of the GFS, by the way. I'm going to talk you through both the two GFS runs that we've had so far today in a moment, but the midnight GFS run does have more influence from that high pressure sitting to the east of us. It's over and to the east of us, and the trough of low pressure in the Atlantic is further away from us and weaker too. So obviously that's a drier scenario as we're moving up towards Christmas with the GFS. There will be more in way of dry weather. Probably still mild. The wind is still coming up from the south, although under the ridge of high pressure you wouldn't rule out the chances of some frost and thaw. But the main difference between the two is not so much the temperature. The main difference is that the GFS is quite a lot drier. These are the upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles from the GFS for the next couple of weeks. We're looking at Oxford today, so this is another suggested location for this part of the video. If you'd like to have your local town or city featured in this part of the video, we're happy to feature it. We are a little bit behind because, of course, I've not been uploading since Thursday, so we will get round to everybody. We'll get round to everybody's locations. If you'd like to have your location featured, you can ask us through the comments at Gazworthids or email us at gazworthids@gmail.com or ask us through our social media accounts. We will add you to the list eventually. Of course, we're behind now, but eventually we will get to everybody. The red line is a 30-year upper air temperature average for Oxford. Dates are on the bottom, so for the next week we're going to be a little bit on the colder than average side. That's why I say I think the rise in the CET is probably over for the time being. We'll probably get a pause, maybe even a slight drop back in the next few days. As we go into next week, though, particularly the second half of next week, it could get very mild for a while. And then the period around Christmas is quite interesting. There is a lot of scatter, and there are some really quite cold outliers beginning to show up around this Christmas period as well. But we can't, of course, discount these much milder runs that we've got up here. So a lot of uncertainty about the Christmas period, but of course that's very extended range, so you'd expect a lot of uncertainty in that period anyway. There's going to be plenty more rainfall to come, so just loads of precipitation spikes over the next week to 10 days. And even as we get towards Christmas and beyond, again, plenty of precipitation spikes coming through there. So there will be plenty of rainfall to come. And obviously over the next week, it is going to be quite cold at times, especially during the weekend. With precipitation around, there could be a little bit of wintry potential, more especially over high ground, but perhaps not exclusively so. I wouldn't be that surprised if there's a few flakes coming down to lower levels over the weekend, particularly in northern parts of the country. So cool and unsettled really for the next week, definitely. Temperature anomalies from the 11th to the 19th of December, rather below average, slightly below average temperature anomaly for the UK and for Ireland. Going to be quite a cold week coming up, really. And precipitation anomaly is close to average. Not a big deviation either way. A bit drier than average in the northeast, near normal elsewhere. Excuse me. So this is how that midnight GFS run look. Low pressure is in control of the weather on Saturday, bringing heavy rain, strong winds, and it's cold as well. The winds in from the northwest. We're on the cold side of the jet stream, so there is a bit of wintry potential with those areas of low pressure too. That's Sunday, so again, showers or longer spells of rain with those areas of low pressure. Into the early part of next week, stays unsettled. The wind does ease off, so that's the good point about next week. It's unsettled through the early part of the week, but at least the wind is easing off. In the second half of the week, there's that ridge beginning to build to our southeast that we saw on the height anomaly flow chart. So we've got low pressure up to the northwest. That's bringing up a mild, very mild southwest wind and outbreaks of rain. But in the southeast, this high pressure is becoming increasingly influential. And by the time we get through to day 10, actually, certainly for England and Wales anyway, we are being dominated by high pressure. It's still quite unsettled up to the northwest. It's quite a mild flow that's coming in with this ridge, although obviously if the skies are clear then we could get an inversion which might produce frost and fog. In the more extended range, heading up towards Christmas, the midnight GFS run then tries to take the high pressure up to Scandinavia. In fact, it does do so. We go to Christmas Eve. It's a long way off, 324 hours away, but the high pressure is building up to Scandinavia. Still mild at this point. Winds are from the south, and further rain will be likely, particularly so in the west. We get a proper Scandinavian high by Christmas Day, up to 1,030 millibars. We're very unsettled underneath this low pressure, though. And we finish up with this GFS run, still under low pressure, still with a lot of rain. But that high pressure is getting ever stronger over Scandinavia. The wind is certainly trying to have a go at turning into the east across much of northern Europe. We're actually mild up to this point, but if I show you the upper air temperatures, you see there is quite an extensive cold pool that's lurking just to our northeast. So if the wind was to turn into the east between Christmas and New Year, obviously there would be plenty of cold air available to start bringing in with those easterly winds. But as it is up to the end of the midnight GFS run, it's mild and very wet under that deep area of low pressure. That's the midnight GFS run. This is the latest, the 6 o'clock run. Again, cold and unsettled over the weekend, with low pressure bringing heavy rain at times, and there could be a bit of wintry potential, especially so over high ground. Will be a windy weekend too. Next week, wind eases off, but it stays unsettled and quite chilly for the early part of the week. Second half of the week, there comes those milder winds from the southwest, less influence from high pressure though, with the 6 o'clock GFS run. So this is just more unsettled up to day 10 really, with plenty of rain heading in from off the Atlantic. That's how we look at day 10 actually, under low pressure, with a lot of unsettled weather on offer there. In the more extended range, moving up towards Christmas, stays really unsettled. And eventually, by the time you get through to Christmas Day, we start to push those low pressures away to the east, which does allow the wind to turn into the north. So that's a bit of a Christmas Day cold snap there. We'll probably bring wintry showers to northeastern parts of the country before we finish up high pressure toppling over the country and allowing milder winds to come back in from the west or southwest again by the very end of the GFS run, which is Friday the 27th of December. GM is cold and unsettled for the weekend, with low pressure, bringing plenty of rain and a little of wintriness at times as well, perhaps. Into next week, stays unsettled. Wind shift into the south, so it will turn quite mild next week again. But low pressure is both to the west and to the southwest as we get to the end of this GM run, which is the 21st of December, day 10. So obviously that looks really, really unsettled there. ECM, again, cold and unsettled over the weekend with showers or possibly even some longer spells of rain. And then we go into the sort of early part of next week, stay unsettled. We do lose the wind, but it stays quite chilly and unsettled. And then later next week, you try to get a bit of high pressure to the east, but it doesn't really come off. And as you saw on the high anomaly flow chart for Penn State University, actually we stay very unsettled with the ECM right way up to day 10. Which is Saturday the 21st of December. Low pressure is out of the Atlantic. It's a deep low as well, with a central pressure of 955 millibars, I think, just there. So that's throwing up further heavy rain and some quite strong winds at times as well. But it will be mild. Winds are in from the southwest. This is the precipitation forecast based on that ECM run. So for today, we've got some wintry showers up in the north. Otherwise, east areas actually will have a drier day, but there's more showers in the north and the west. Tomorrow, here comes the next batch of rain. That's going to give us a soggy old general election for any voters. You're going to need to brave the rain, I'm afraid. Lots of heavy rain for England and Wales. Could turn to snow up across Scotland, particularly over high ground, but there may be flakes down to lower levels too. That wet weather gets out of the way for Friday. We're left with showers, and then into the weekend. This is Saturday, so showery rain pushing across the country. There is wintry potential in with this, primarily for high ground, but there's a chance of some flakes coming down to lower levels on Saturday across parts of the country. Most of that gets out of the way by the end of Saturday, and then we've just got wintry showers around coast. But then on Saturday night, another little system's moving through again. This brings rain to the south, but could be some snow involved parts of northern England, southern Scotland on Saturday night and into Sunday morning. That system gets out of the way, leaves us with more showers. And then next week we do go a bit drier actually for the early part of next week, but it's not long before the next batches of rain are moving back in off the Atlantic. So by day 10, which is of course 21st of December, we're looking really wet across most parts of the country once again. These are the options that are on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10. So this gets us to the 21st of December. This is from the Icelandic Met Office, of course. We have 20 members of the ECM ensembles, including the ECM control run, that are very unsettled with low pressure over the top of the country. 17 with low pressure over and to the west of us. 7 with low pressure to the west-southwest. But they do have a bit more of a ridge to the northeast with these, and it does include the operational run as well, by the way. That's the run we've just been looking at. Generally though, mild and wet with those. And then 7 just here, but are a little bit different. They've got low pressure, they've got high pressure just over and to the east of us. They've got low pressure in the Atlantic. They're a slightly drier scenario, quite mild too. Winds are from the southwest. However, if we take that's just 7. There's just 7 of those. So if we take the 20 here, the 17 here, and the 7 there, it looks like we're going to be very unsettled up to day 10. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options we've got. This gets us to Christmas. This is actually Boxing Day. So we've got 15 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure out to the northwest, high pressure to the south-southwest. Excuse me, bringing in a southwesterly wind, and there will be rain in the north too. 12 with low pressure sitting to our east. They're unsettled, but they bring down colder air from the north for Boxing Day with some high pressure up towards Greenland. 12 with low pressure over and to the west of the country, some high pressure up to the north. 9 with low pressure over the top of the country, and then just 3, these 3 just here are different. They're high pressure dominated with blocking. So we've got high pressure to our northwest, to our north, and to our northeast, and we'll bring in a cold easterly wind. So they're bringing in cold easterly winds by Christmas with those 3, but they're a very, very minority option. Most of the options there just look continuing really unsettled conditions to Christmas and maybe even beyond it. Finally, just having a look at SEV-SV2, bring you up to date with that as we've not looked at it for over a week. So these are 500 millibar height anomaly. These are 500 millibar height anomalies broken down to weekly periods. The first week period will take us from the 11th to the 17th of December. The coming week looks really unsettled with low pressure over the country. So, I mean, just imagine there's going to be plenty of rain still to come in the week ahead. Week 2 is going to be the 18th of December to Christmas Eve, with high pressure building then over and to the east of the country. Low pressure is out to the west, so that's a drier scenario, probably relatively mild, but of course under the high pressure we could start getting frost and fog going. Week 3 is the 25th, Christmas Day, to New Year's Eve. Take the high pressure out to the west then, to our northwest. And of course, that would bring a fair amount of dry weather, but it would start to turn us colder as winds would swing into the north or the northeast. So that is actually going colder as we go through the Christmas week. And then we finish up in week 4, which is the 1st to the 7th of January, so the first week of 2020. It looks quite cold, actually, with high pressure sitting to our north-northeast, and that will bring in a cold easterly wind. So the CFS is certainly playing with the idea that around Christmas and into the new year, we could start to turn colder. The temperature anomaly in the week ahead from the CFS, again, this is the 11th, 17th of December, is close to average for England and Wales, possibly a little bit below average, though, for Scotland and for Northern Ireland. Week 2 is a milder than average week. This is high pressure is building. It's, of course, under the high pressure, it might not be as mild as the model is forecasting it to be, but nevertheless, from the 18th to 24th of December, it's coming out with above average temperatures. But week 3 goes cold. This is Christmas week. It's from Christmas Day to New Year's Eve, and yes, cold and average temperatures being forecast there, as remember the winds are swinging into the north and the northeast, and then it stays cold through the first week of January. for CFS. This is the 1st to the 7th of January, showing cold and average temperatures again there through the first week of 2020. Quite a significant change for the sort of final week or so of the month, then into the start of the new year. Temperature precipitation anomalies finally, the 11th, 17th of December, above average precipitation, a wet and average week coming up. Then it goes drier than average in week 2 as that high pressure builds in, initially bringing mild conditions with it, but eventually starts to get colder through the Christmas week. Still drier than average here from Christmas Day to New Year's Eve, but it's a lot colder. And then close to average precipitation in week 4, which is the first week of January, the 1st to the 7th. That's all very speculative stuff, of course, but it is interesting that CFS today, anyway, wants to turn things quite a lot colder through Christmas and into the new year. We'll have to wait and see about that. So I might do a Christmas update this evening. I'll see how I'm feeling later. We're certainly well behind with Christmas updates now, so it could be a Christmas update appearing later. You just have to watch out and see if it appears or not. But certainly within the next week to 10 days, what we can say is that it's going to be staying unsettled and quite cold over the coming days. Next week, probably turning milder again as we start to move up towards Christmas. Could get very mild actually for a while, particularly in northern western parts of the country. Wettest conditions out to the northwest, driest conditions in the southeast. And there may be hints that things are turning drier but colder perhaps as we're getting towards Christmas itself. We shall see about that. Right, so we're back in business with the videos. Hope you've enjoyed this video. And just sorry it's taken so long to bring you an update. But there we go, we can't do anything about illness and these things happen. So there will be videos appearing from now on. We won't be doing 3 or 4 videos a day for the time being, I wouldn't have thought. But there will be more video updates appearing in the next few days. Thank you so much once again, everybody, for all of your lovely comments and messages of support. You really are very, very kind. And yeah, just thank you so much, everybody, for that. So we're back in business with the videos, and there may be a Christmas update coming up for you this evening. We shall see. That's all for now, though, and thanks for watching.